everyone. Welcome to Learner's Buzz. This video is focused on Level 1 Foundation course of ESL program. Most of you must be familiar with the concept of phonics in language. Before moving on to explore different ways of teaching phonics, let's understand what exactly it means. Phonics is an essential part of any program in ESL curriculum. Phonics is how we teach students to read and write. In a way, it is almost like transferring sounds onto the paper. So how do we go about teaching how to read and write?
In the analytical phonics, the word is broken down into different sounds that make the word. This approach is generally followed in the teaching of native language speakers. In this method, individual sounds are not taught to the children because it is their first language, so they already know the language and they speak it. So they are taught to take the whole word concept. On the other hand, synthetic phonics process focuses on teaching of individual sounds to the early learners so that later on they can blend the different sounds of a word together in order to understand how the words are formed from blending different sounds. This method is more suitable for teaching of non-native speakers who study the language as a second learner. So now we will discuss in more detail about this second process known as synthetic phonics. And this method is also known as learning from part to whole, which means trying to learn each individual sound of the word and then synthesizing it to form the word.
There are a few tips to master for all the teachers in order to help these young learners to acquire the skills of reading and writing. And this is what we are going to explore in this video. So stay tuned for the tips to come.
One of the first important things to do is teaching phonemes before teaching the letter names. It is common practice to teach the capital letters first and then teach their letter names. This is one of the most misunderstood method of teaching, especially in case of the second language learners. On the basis of experiments and personal observation during my last 16 years of experience, I have found that in most of the cases it becomes a hindrance in the learning process of the young learners, especially in case of second language learners. The repetitive drill in order to familiarize with the shape and letter name of the capital letters later on gets so grounded in the child's mind that he or she finds it difficult to associate the grapheme with the phoneme. In step 2 of teaching phonics to the young learners, we have to see how to teach letter sounds along with familiarizing the student with the graphic aspect of the language, which means how those sounds are written. So what is the letter related to a particular sound? This is called the phoneme grapheme association. Phoneme means the sound part of the letter and grapheme is its visual aspect. Step 3 involves blending different sounds together. Now what does this mean? This means teaching students to combine two or more vowel and consonant sounds together and make different words.
Students should be made to see a word onto paper and then produce the sound loud in order to form words.
For example, the word bat is a combination of b consonant sound, a vowel sound and t.
Blending is a skill which needs a lot of practice and it will take time. So give your students a lot of practice and with a lot of patience in order to learn these skills.
Step 4 involves segmentation of sounds, which means segmenting a word into its basic sounds. And in this process, it is teacher's responsibility to make the child identify what is the beginning, medial, and the ending sound of that word. For example, in the word hand, the beginning sound is h. Medial sounds are a, and the last sound is d, which is the ending sound. Another important part of teaching phonics to the young learners is teaching sight words. These are the words which cannot be blended together. So students need to look at the words and see what they mean. Many such words occur in a very high frequency, so it is not very useful to try to teach blending in this case.
So these were the 5 fundamental tips in teaching of synthetic phonics. Understanding these skills needed in order to learn reading and writing will help you tackle your school's phonics program. Will help you to understand what skills of your students you need to work on. If you find this video helpful, let us know in the comments below. Thank you.